Path of Exile just released the full new Ascendancies that are coming to the game. These are Bloodline Ascendancies. Now, if you don't know what a Bloodline Ascendancy is, it's kind of their new version, their alternate Ascendancies. You kill a boss, and the boss will unlock like a bonus Ascendancy, and you can mix or match both the new Bloodline Ascendancies as well as the main Ascendancy you have, depending upon how many points you want to put in each. So kind of cool. It's like a bonus. I haven't seen these yet, but these are the new ones they kind of just announced here. So we're going to pick our way through these and see if there's anything here that really strikes out to us. So the first thing I see here is minion damage. Not going to be a minion, Andy. So you start here. What do we have here? Increased Warcry speed. All right. Attack speed per minion up to a maximum 80%. A minion deal 80% increased damage if you've Warcry lately. So a Warcry plus minion thing. Minions have 25% increased max HP. Maximum number of raised specters is 1. Interesting. Ferric's Will. Raised Beast Specters. So this is all like Spectre shit. I'll be honest, I don't play Specters or Minions. I don't really know how good this is. So this doesn't really interest me too much because I'm just not really a Minion guy. I'm sure Godsy's probably pogging out about that somewhere. Moving on here to the Lycia Bloodline. What is this one here? Increased effective curses. Okay. Create Profane Ground instead of Concentrated Ground. Profane Ground you create inflicts malediction on enemies. Profane Ground you create also affects you and your allies. Hits against enemies on Profane Ground have a 100% increased critical strike chance, and curses have increased effect on them. Malediction 10% reduced damage dealt to 10% increased damage taken. Okay, it's like Intimidate from Path of Exile 2, if you're familiar with that. Chaotic Might grants 30% of physical damage as extra chaos damage. Okay, I never used Profane Ground, but that actually seems really strong. Giving Chaotic Might is basically Unholy Might in Path of Exile 2 terms. And then Maledictions basically Intimidate. They do reduce damage and take increased damage. So those are both really good mechanics built into one. What do we have here on the other side? 50% of lightning damage converted to chaos. 50% of cold damage converted to chaos. 50% of fire converted to chaos. Interesting. So it's like an avatar of chaos, huh? Okay. Increased buff of Heralds. Heralds have more buff effect for every 1% maximum mana they reserve. Herald skills and minions from Herald skills deal 1% more damage for every 1% of maximum life those skills reserve. Interesting. That's more damage. Couldn't you use that to, like, reserve life and then you're just running Energy Shield literally anyway? I don't know. That seems kind of good. That doesn't anything here that really strikes me as like I'd be wanting to build around, but some of these don't seem too bad. Huh. Okay, so maybe if you're a Chaos Andy. Nothing too crazy for me so far. Moving on here. The Delirious Bloodline grants level 1 Embrace Madness skill. While affected by Glorious Madness, inflict mania on nearby enemies every second. Okay, and what's the Glorious Madness? While under Glorious Madness, gain a random touch debuff every 2 seconds. Using this skill again will remove Glorious Madness and the touch debuff it inflicts, but you will be unable to Embrace Madness until the cooldown expires. Mania applies 4% increased damage taken, 2% reduced action speed, and 10% reduced life and area shield for 15 seconds, and can be afflicted up to 15 times. So 15 times gets you 60% increased damage. Oh, this is like... Wait, that's actually like kind of crazy. 30% reduced action speed. And then they just like completely 150% reduced life and recovery rate. Wait, can you put that into the reverse? If you reduce life recovery rate below 100%, does it make them start taking damage based upon their own life recovery rate? Surely not. Herald One's Broken really adds a ton of flat damage. It would be a ton of damage if you're running ES, I guess, or you're running Might over Matter, maybe. I guess you kind of... you would have to use the, what is it, the Eternal Blessing or whatever the support is to make it remove from HP instead. Okay, here, grants level 20 Misty Reflection skill. Dash backwards, leaving a short-lived mist copy of yourself. The copy can be damaged by enemies, and copies that are killed by an enemy will apply a debuff in area and makes affected targets take 30% increased damage and deal 30% less for 4 seconds. You have to dash backwards and they have to kill the copy just to take 30% increased damage. It's interesting. I don't know how much I care about that, honestly. It's not as exciting as I was hoping. And this is the one that I've already seen, which I thought this looked really interesting. Take 40% less damage from hits 4 seconds after each hit you take. Lose life equal to 40% of the damage taken from that hit. Non-cluster jewels socketed in your passive tree have no effect. So only clusters would do anything. 40% less damage from hits. And 4 seconds after each hit, you lose life equal to 40% damage taken from the hit. So basically, it delays that hit damage. That seems like that could be pretty good, maybe with Defiance of Destiny, where you're healing before you take the hit damage or something. You can still put jewels in the cluster jewels. True. In hardcore, that's rough. Yeah, this would be a weird one because there's quite a bit of unique jewels I typically use on the tree in spots on purpose, depending upon the build. But you can put the jewels in the non-cluster, I guess, or in the cluster. But still, this one does seem kind of interesting though. Okay, moving on here. Catarina Bloodline. I see more minion shit. Minions deal 15% more damage while they're on low life. Cannot be killed, but die 6 seconds after being reduced to 1 life. I mean, 20 or 15% more seems pretty good. 15% increase or 50% increased effective offering. Offering kill affected damageable targets when offering duration expires. 50%, damn. Increased attack and cast speed per SRS. Oh, shit, so you could just have a bunch of But dude, this actually seems nuts. Increased attack damage per raised zombie. Increased defenses per raised specter. Wait, 12% defenses? Can't you have a shitload of specters? Wait, isn't that insane? That's insane. Defenses count for energy shield. Average is around 8 specters, but you can have 12, 13 if you min-max. I mean, that seems pretty good, dude. Increased spell damage per summoned skeleton. Does that include, like, Vol skeletons? Can I, like, use Vol skeleton and get a shitload of spell damage? Use Sidarium with tier 1, thank you, buddy. Dark Pack Vol skeleton, that's what I'm saying. Like, that isn't that, like, really, really strong? What am I missing here? Isn't this an insanely strong 2-pointer? Morning, buddy. I mean, this seems like the strongest one of everything. I mean, you get everything. You get a cast speed, attack damage, defenses, spell damage, movement speed. What? Downsides, you gotta play fucking minions. I mean, true, dude, but like, no condition, no downside. I know, this is just good, dude. Like, if this was a melee node in PoE2, you know what it would say? It would say, get 15% attack speed per mace you're wielding. Downside, life is reduced 50%. All right, all bloodline. What we got here? Okay, increased endurance for his power charge duration. I like that. Discipline is 50% increased aura effect while you have no power charges. Wrath has 50% increased aura effect while at maximum power charges. Yeah, the Wrath one's pretty good, not gonna lie. At least for the for Mana Man back in the day. I don't know if you can really fit this in with a 2-pointer. I mean, that's an expensive 2 points, but that's pretty good. Let's see, what's the other one? Determination's 50% increased aura effect while you have no endurance charges. Anger has increased aura effect while you're at maximum endurance charges. Okay, that, I feel like that's not that, I mean, it's kind of not as good as I would want there. I don't know how I feel about that one. Because while I have no endurance charges, I better have minimum endurance charges. So that would read better if it said while I have minimum charges. But yeah, I don't know about that one. Grace has increased aura effect while you have no frenzy charges. Hatred is 50% increased for effect while at maximum. Okay. What's the one on the right side here? 15% global defense. Okay, 15% global is kind of nice. Action speed cannot be modified to below base value if you have equipped boots with no socketed gems. That's a big cost. Cannot be stunned if you have equipped helmet with no socketed gems. That's kind of nice. Elemental elements on you cannot be reflected on you if you have equipped body armor with no socketed gems. Oof. Take no extra damage from critical strikes if you equip gloves. The no damage from crit. I do like that. But 2 points for Ascendancy for that, nah. Yeah, this is not that good. I kind of like the Wrath one, maybe for Man to Man. I kind of don't like the rest of this. Not super stoked about that. Well, okay, what's Olroth here? Increased ward from equipped armor. I never played ward at all. Chance to restore your ward on hit. Less damage taken from damage over time while you have unbroken ward. Seems kind of good. Faster restoration of ward per enemy hit you've taken recently. Damage taken bypasses unbroken ward if the hit deals less damage than 15% of the ward. 40% increased ward from equipped armor items. Bypasses the unbroken ward. So you can, like, split the damage, basically. Okay. I mean, bypass mechanics are typically quite good. Trigger level 20 ward shatter when your ward breaks. Explodes when your ward is broken, dealing physical spell damage around you equal to a percentage of your ward and inflicting innervation on hit. A debuff that lowers movement speed by 20 prevents life and energy recovery for 4 seconds. Ward only takes the big hit? Oh, does it? I never really played ward, so I'm not too familiar with the actual mechanics of how ward works. Okay, is there any in here I actually would run? I kind of like Schizophrenic. You know what? I don't know if I really like too many of these. Have you seen the old Ward Loop build? The only thing I've seen for Ward Loop is I saw this clip from Asmongold on a short where he was running around and it was just blasting like he was playing Vampire Survivors. It was just automatically casting everywhere. You need to beat Simulacrum for the Deli one. That is pretty late game. Oh, you have to beat Sim for it? I don't know. To be honest, after looking at these, I don't know that I feel like I'm going to end up using any of these. I mean, this just seems like the Minion Andy's got like a huge Giga buff, and everyone else kind of got like mild shit. Am I missing anything here? I guess maybe if I knew how ward worked, I could probably understand this one better. These don't really seem that good. Herald's got a huge buff. Well, I mean, the Wrath one I like. I don't know if I really like the other ones as much. The Precursors is kind of interesting, but it has quite a cost. If you use some items corrupt, you can use the Chaos one. I did like the Chaos one, which is back over here. This one. I like this. You have sacrifice blood, life recovery from regeneration grants blood barrier. I do like that quite a bit. I think that's kind of interesting. And also the full energy shield sacrifice all ES to gain 5% of all maximum res is kind of interesting too. If I was playing slams or something. Blood barrier seems pretty strong. I do think blood barrier seems strong. You could have a build with no charges and heavily stack those defenses. Okay, so I get the logic, but like, which one do we really care about with no charges? I guess maybe you could use discipline. Maybe grace. But they do cost your other ascendancy points too, yeah. Yeah, but if I'm okay, maybe you're right about discipline, but like for me, the build that I use that I might actually want discipline, the one that comes to mind is like the Hierophant mana stacker, and you use power charges. Though maybe Trickster could use it. I do like the Blood Barrier better. Just thinking of some amulets or jewels to do like X max charges and can maybe like get the buff while they having one endurance charge or something. Yeah, I mean, I suppose you could. I kind of like the Wrath one. Seems kind of interesting. Mass Stacker doesn't need power charges, especially if not crit. Well, you can get it pretty easy with Hierophant. And you can, I use the Hierophant plus the Corrupt that makes it where you get more spell damage per power charge. Like, typically that's the move for me with it. And it gives me a good amount of damage. But you're right, you don't necessarily need it, but I don't know how much in that aspect I'd really care about discipline as much. And it seems like isn't that like going out of your way to try to gain like a discipline 50% increased aura effect, like just like for 2 ascendancy points and cutting power charges out entirely? Just I don't know. I mean, what am I? I don't see, at least any of the builds I run. Maybe there's a build that make that where it would matter. I still like this one. I feel like this is something here. This chaos one would be kind of interesting. You know what I'm interested. What if you can you use this for Mamba? Lightning cone and fire damage converted to chaos damage. So this way you can run Pathfinder. This would still give you damage towards Mamba with... It would give you damage towards Mamba while using Elemental, right? I guess it's only 50%, but that would work, right? It would convert it. Isn't Mamba dead? Wait, how'd they kill Mamba? Am I missing something? I didn't think they killed Mamba. Profane Ground is interesting too. You're thinking Bama, yeah. Blink Arrow, Mirror Arrow is dead. No, Mamba doesn't have a 5-second duration. I'm talking Viper Strike of the Mamba, boys. You're thinking of Mirror Arrow. Viper Strike of the Mamba is probably better this league, I'd assume. And plus, if we were talking Viper Strike of the Mamba, having a left duration would be a buff, wouldn't it? I feel like these are cut PoE 2 ascendancy points are pretty underpowered in terms of PoE 1 ascendancy points. I think the idea is they give you a bunch of variety in case you have 2 useless points on your last ascendancy points, and you slot these in somewhere into the build to give you some kind of buff. I'm sure somebody out there is going to make these insane. Honestly, I hate to say this, boys. I really do hate to say it, but I think Minion's got the best node out of literally all of them. These are PoE 1 class trees. I think the Minion got the best one out of all of them. Minion League, Saj, yep. That's exactly what they are. They're the use some useless 2 to 4 points from your OG ascendancies that aren't good, basically. Now, for me, what I plan to play is I plan to play Wintertide Brand. So the real question we have to figure out now is if I'm playing Wintertide Brand, all right? What ascendancy am I going to go? What's my base class here? Because that's the next conversation that needs to be had. Yo, Eclipse, thanks for the tier 1, buddy. Appreciate that. Elementalist or maybe Hierophant? Let's see here. I haven't looked at Elementalist, so what are the differences? These Hierophant. Max mana, Transfiguration of Mind. What else do we have here? Brands have a 100% more activation frequency if 75% of attached duration expired. Brand recall reduction. Oh, that's a good one. Okay, increase totem. We're not going to do totem shit. Arcane Surge, 20% more spell damage to you. I mean, yeah, we probably go here and here, right? We have a really easy 4 points. Okay, so we have an easy 4 points. Charges are good too. Yeah, I can do the charges. So what will we do with the rest of the points? What up, Ang? I'm doing Wintertide Brand. What's the starter? It's going to be Wintertide Brand, and I think it's going to be... I started Butter Boy, but I think it's going to end up being either Hierophant. I have never played the Elementalist. So what does Elementalist have to offer? You get the bonuses from the golems. Okay. Primal Aegis can take 75 damage. Can I take Reflected Elemental? Oh, can I take Reflected Elemental? It's just kind of nice. Increased effective Herald buffs, mana reservation efficiency. Hits always shock. Shocks from your hits increase damage taken by at least 25%, and all damage can shock. Wait, all damage can shock would be nice in Wintertide Brand, wouldn't it? Do you recommend Escape from Duck-Off? Yeah, Escape from Duck-Off is really good. All damage from hits can chill. All damage from hits can ignite. Exposures you inflict apply a 25% increased affected resistances. 30% more elemental damage. So what will we actually run then? You get Golem effect with Chaos Golem, which increases your dot. Where's the LE tree start, though? It's here, isn't it? How good is the elemental tree start? It's just like cast speed, spell damage, cast speed, more spell damage, minion damage nodes. Mana nodes. So really it's either Elementalist or Hierophant. I guess Hierophant gives me the Bram recall. Activation frequency. But what does activation frequency actually mean? If 75% of attached duration expired. So it ramps more at the later stages. The last quarter of it ramps to the 20 stages faster. Cast speed generally translates into more procs to the brand. Does the activation frequency scale off cast damage with or cast speed then? They nerf the golem to 50%, not 100%? Yeah. How are we building? Figuring out what class I want to play. So if I start Witch, the problem is you want these nodes too. So like you're definitely going to go here and grab these. Like you're 100% going to grab those. Going to grab these for sure. Going to grab these. I feel like we want the code damage nodes too, right? Okay, I think it would look like that. You can get the golem nodes right next to the... What golem nodes? Oh, buff effect of golems, I see what you're saying. +1 maximum golem. Yeah, those would probably be goods too. You go here, you grab these, right? Duration nodes. This is what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's just one extra point to go this way. Wintertide brand does not count as an element though, right? And we also have to go this way because we want the dot multiplier, so it ended up looking like this. Then we need these nodes, right? Probably don't care about going to these. Oh, this is an easy 2-pointer, I guess. I think it would look like this. I think it would look like that, right? All right, what do we think about that? It's level 52. And then the minion damage nodes, you would then take minion damage. Probably take mind over matter at some point here. Wander League start. I don't understand the whole. So what's going on with wands? Why is everyone going wands? I thought the wands was just so people could play Kinetic Rain or something. Like, why is everyone stoked about wands right now? I haven't really looked into the wand changes enough to know what's going on there. New skills, new bases, and wanders are getting buffed. Oh, no, the new skills, yeah. Okay, so the new wand bases. Yeah, I haven't really looked into the new... I don't know what the new wands are. Powerful nodes resulting in very high numbers. Wand nodes? Let's see here. Wand. These nodes. Damage of hits and elements. Wand per power charge damage. Critical strike. Attack speed. And rating. Doesn't really help me at all if I'm branding, right? Because brand doesn't really count as an element. It's like a damage over time. We need a little dot multiplier. It's all physical damage. That doesn't help us at all. Elemental damage. Elemental damage and damage pins. The elemental damage, I guess, is usable. Yeah, the wand shit doesn't really help us at all. It doesn't count as an element. It's not an on-hit. So I don't think the wand shit actually helps us at all. What we need cold dot multiplier or just dot multiplier. So we need these. Okay. So that's a level 60 tree. Kind of a weird tree. I don't know if I like it that much. A lot of traveling. Okay, and then we need to find good nodes here. Let's see. Dot. Damage over time. These ones are actually good. Okay, I want those. And then is there any other good dot multipliers? Oh, these are good multipliers. You know what? I could probably go this way and then cut through here. What is this, life and ES? Yeah, what if I go this way instead? That way I can get life and ES nodes. Drop this out. This is kind of weird. I could drop, maybe when I go CI, I can lose all the life nodes. Spell damage leeches energy shield. I kind of like that. We can also take minion damage nodes to convert. It's damage over time with poison, chaos dots. It's all like chaos. Okay, so I don't need to worry about down here anymore. Okay, so that's that. So then what I can take is I can take minion nodes. Minion damage nodes. I could take these nodes. Those two. These are minion damage nodes also. Okay, what does that look like? That's level 74, so that's like somewhat close in the maps. Okay, and then for Wintertide brand, we have that Wintertide brand. And what will we use with Wintertide brand? We use Controlled Destruction. Probably Arcane Surge. Efficacy. That's on a 4 link. So let's just see what on a 4 link early would look like, I guess. Okay. Enabling the DPS. And then items. Can we just like create like a normal... Can we just get like a basic wand? Maybe like a minion one. Imbued wand. Spell damage wand here. Just like a basic minion. Minion wand with minion damage. And then can we add like a little bit of spell damage, like a mid-roll, sure. Suffix, can I get, well, no, dot multiplier is fine. Let's just add that. Just some real basic. Yeah, add one of those. How do you add these into that? See, add to build. Same thing. Do it again. And let's just say we get lucky and we get one that's cold dot multiplier. I guess you can't get that on. Is that a suffix? It is. So we get cold dot multiplier mid row, add to build, boom. What up, Comfy? All right, then so what does that put us at? 9,000 DPS. Holy shit, we're ramping, dude. Look at this go. We can make them shocked, I guess. Effect to shock, 20%, maybe. And then what else would we be using here? I guess we'd have the golems, right? We'd have Chaos Golem. We would also have, using Chaos Golem, we'd be using, was a Lightning Golem. We'd be using, what's the third one we'd be using? I guess Stone Golem, maybe? Okay. And then what else? What auras are we going to be using here? I don't think the auras are really going to matter, is it? Maybe discipline or something? Malevolence? Sure. 2 warnings. Not meet the strength requirement, summon golems. Dexterity requirement, lightning golem. Sure, just set these to like level 10 or something here. Here, we'll do this. We'll go tree. We'll just grab these nodes. Boom, boom. Download POB. I was trying to learn. Do you recommend trying to learn it? I mean, it's basically the game. Oh, we forgot to grab these. We're going to be a Elementalist. Grab the Golem nodes. I think we want all damage can shock, probably. What else do we care about? Effective Herald buffs. I mean, the Heralds aren't really going to do anything for Brand, are they? Chill. Well, can we already chill? I mean, we're doing cold damage. We can already chill, right? Heralds give a bunch of flat damage and spell percentage. Doesn't flat damage not do anything in the build? I guess lessen their damage, though. Fine, I'll take that. Just have a lack of something else to take for now. Why is this doing, like, actually 0 damage? We need another dex node. There we go. Yeah, I think we're going to go Wintertide Brand. Is it set to stages? Oh, yeah. Let's see here. Where's the Wintertide Brand stages? Number of active brands. Oh, yeah, we're going to do 3. 3. There's no way to, like, set the stages of the brands, right? It just says number of active brands 3. Swift Affliction. What's Swift do? 30% more damage. Sure. It's on a 5 link now. It's in the skill type near where you're. Element calculation. What am I missing here? How do I set the count? Do I have to increase the count for it to work? God, trying to find shit in this. I see the skill options here. Oh, stages. So if it makes it to stage 20, it's 100k DPS. Got it. Okay. So my only concern with this seems fine, but like my only concern with this is honestly the Elementalist nodes don't seem like as impactful as like potentially the brand ones, right? Like brand plus the arcane surge for free gives me a link back. Like wouldn't this just be better? Wouldn't Hierophant be better? Brand masteries are needed. Yeah, I gotta take the attach. What's the other brand? Recall brand attachment range. I like that one. Additional brands don't do attached to the enemy though. It's just how many you can have out. So for single target. I don't really understand how the cast speed translates to activations, though. To be honest. Okay, what does it say here for power nodes now? For full DPS. What's the POB, you think? Wintertide, the lower your duration is better. Does lower duration make the stages ramp faster? Or I thought the duration just means how long the brand will last. Will respecking become easier and cheaper in 3.27? Well, it's easier from a quality of life perspective. These are actually good nodes. Building the skill text. All right, well, we're about to do a practice run with it here. more minion damage and damage. I feel like all these nodes are pretty good, honestly. Like, I could grab all these nodes. This part ends up being a little weird, but those seem like decent nodes. Cluster. Yeah, I'm kind of avoiding the cluster for the moment. Because I'm just thinking, like, on League Start. Oh, yeah, here you go from dual wielding. Spell damage, dual wielding. So we'll probably be dual wielding. Those will probably be usable, too. And this is not wearing any other items right now, just wands. I mean, we could just put on some, like, basic gear here real quick. Basic energy shield helmet. Oh, I don't know if any of these actually, I guess. What kind of uniques here would they recommend? Sort by full DPS. What do they recommend? Is your gym level set to 20? Is there any good uniques for brands? Let's see. Suck the gems supported by level 20 concentrated effect. Thunder Fist. Damage over time multiplier. So I guess the issue we're going to have is where do we get the rest of the damage then? Like, how do we scale it?